Thank you for joining us again for ACRP TV, spotlight on how to manage multi-site trials and use remote training during these very unusual times. We're very lucky to have with us today Samantha Sharpe, CCRP, Project Manager, Center for Clinical and Translational Science. Samantha, I apologize. I read that without my glasses. I think I got it right.
You did get it right.
Okay, great. I thought, well, we've had the chance to talk a few times before, and you've been a great source for me in some blogs in the past. And I really appreciate your time here to talk with us today about this topic. We hear a lot about remote learning. We hear a lot about COVID-19. You're an expert on remote learning. Give us, if you could, quickly, kind of what's the landscape right now? I mean, people are certainly more open to the idea of remote learning, but they don't always know exactly what it is, I think.
Right. I think that people have different understandings of what is available to them, how they can translate their research program to a remote platform. We're seeing a lot of obviously changes in just how we perform clinical research right now in the time of COVID, but especially with how sensitive and respectful we need to be of our research participants in our studies. I think that that is something that more people are becoming aware of. But then there's the flip side, not just your participants, but your coordinators and your staff that are conducting your study. We're trying to figure out what's the best way to get information to them that's study specific, whether that's training, whether that's protocol amendments that they need to be updated on. And I think everybody is becoming more comfortable with platforms like this, like Zoom. I know Skype is another option. There's a couple of different options out there. But I think as people are becoming more comfortable with this type of platform, that we are going to be seeing, I hope, more ease in connecting with some multi-site studies and our ability to truly form a team across states, across sometimes even countries as we're doing clinical research projects. So I know it's different for everyone, and that's something you always have to be mindful of when you're doing a multi-site study. But I think that as a silver lining, this has almost brought some of us closer together. So I'm cautiously optimistic about what the future can hold for online learning and online training for multi-site studies.
Talk about how remote training and online learning can help improve consistency and maybe increase engagement. I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, I think that for consistency, online learning is a really great tool because it can allow you the ability to actually show someone how to translate what's written in a protocol or written in a lab manual. You can actually show them how to do it. One of the things that I suggest in sometimes training, especially across different institutions, is to create videos, either password protected videos on YouTube or Vimeo, where you can show someone how to process samples, or you can put a mock visit up on your video channel. And by using Zoom or using some of these other training platforms, you can actually show people how the lead site or how the sponsor is conducting the study. And I think that one of the best ways to ensure consistency is by watching someone else do it and then trying to repeat it yourself. So the use of video in that way is going to be really beneficial for consistency across sites. Because you and I know we can both read the same article or the same protocol and have two different ideas, but watching someone do it is helpful in bringing those ideas together.
You talked about, and I've talked to many people in recent weeks, and you and I are speaking May 13th. We're still in the middle of this COVID-19. I say the middle, we don't even know where we are in the arc, really. We're still in this, put it that way. But do you foresee, we're obviously having people much more interested and open to the ideas of telehealth, telemedicine, mm-hmm. learning, distance learning, things like that. Do you think this is going to have a permanent impact, or a year from now, will we be talking about a sort of a COVID catalyst that sort of forced the clinical trial industry to jump ahead on the technology side? Or do you think we're going to maybe revert back to our ways to some degree when this crisis is over, if you will?
That's a really great question. And I think we're going to see a little bit of both. I definitely think that we are going to be seeing a push in ways for studies to be conducted virtually, or by even offering a consent through telehealth. Like, that's something that I think is going to be really interesting to see where that avenue goes and how that develops, because I think that people are much more receptive to it. And I would love to see research be able to kind of meet people where they are. And everybody is trying to become more comfortable with using these telemedicine and telehealth. And so I think that there definitely is going to be a push in that direction. But I will tell you, if I could predict the future, that would really serve me well right now. And I'm hopeful. I think I'll leave it at that. I'm hopeful that this will help research move forward and be able to engage populations that haven't been able to participate in research before, because we're kind of able to bring research to more people this way by coming into their homes, or by being able to do this electronically. So like I said, I'm hopeful that this will be something that can further expand what we're able to accomplish scientifically.
Well, hopeful seems like a good place to leave it. We've been speaking here with Samantha Sharpe, CCRP, Project Manager, Center for Clinical and Translational Science. Samantha, I want to thank you so much for joining us on ACRP TV today. And we've been talking about our spotlight on multi-trials and distance learning and telelearning and teletraining. Brave new world out there. And we're lucky to have people like you to help guide us through it. Thanks again for your time, Samantha.
Thank you so much for having me.